to search. Yes. No, the things that we saw and learned in this video, don't just keep it to yourself. Have that conversation with your friends, with your neighbors. Let's continue to talk about these things, because what we learned here, we need to take back to our communities. So, we know our rights, we know what happens if they come to our home or our work, but the reality is you can do all the things right and you still might be arrested or detained.
So, we're gonna, as we said, we're gonna recap of the rights that we have. Like you guys said, we have to remain calm. It's not gonna help anyone if you resist or you start fighting. So please, I know it's a difficult situation to be detained and arrested, but it's key that you remain calm. And also the right to remain silent. Very, very important, not give any fake information or any fake documents. This will really have an impact later on. So it's really important that you do not give any fake information to the officials, and also someone can record. But I want to emphasize to show you Know Your Rights card. And these cards, we have them today and will be distributed, but this card tells the officer that you know your rights and reminds them the rights that we have as an immigrant community. It's really important that you also know them and that you can read them and you can hand this to the officer if you're being detained. This is key so they know that you know your rights.
And we have them here, the beautiful boxes sponsored by IC. Please take a card for yourself, and please take a card again for your friend, for a family member, for your neighbor, for the people in your community. We have them in Spanish, English, French, Urdu, many languages. Before you leave, we were going to give them out, but because of time, we're just going to leave them here. Before you leave today, please come and take Please Know Your Rights card. And your second homework is not only have it in your pocket and ready to give it to an official if something happens. I want us to practice reading these in English.
Yes.
Right? We need to defend ourselves first. So you go home, you look in the mirror, and you practice reading these to yourself in English. I have the right to remain silent. I do not wish to speak to you, etc., etc. They're all in English on one side and then in the language that you need on the other side. Okay?
So now, in the case that you are arrested, you still have rights. We're always going to have rights in the United States, regardless of our status. Key is that you have the right to a lawyer. So you can always communicate to a lawyer and a phone call. So you have the right to this phone call. You don't have to sign any documents, and it's actually really recommended to not sign a document without a lawyer present.
That is ICE's second biggest trick. They will give you something and say, if you sign this, I will let you go. And anyone who's in that situation is like, I just want to leave, I don't want to be deported. Let me just sign. Do not sign anything that you do not understand. I see some head nods. Okay, remember, in the US, there is a criminal justice system. And we know these are the things that are under attack under this new administration, but there is a system. So as these things are happening, just know you're going to be in court, you'll be able to present your case to a judge and report everything, right? So please do not sign anything that is blank or that you do not understand.
Very quickly, you also have the right to get in touch with your consulate. So it's really good that you have that information at hand. You can record the number of the officer that detained you, and also know the case that you got assigned. They should provide that information to you. However, this system is very antagonistic to the immigrant community. You guys are being criminalized, and they're not gonna guarantee that they're gonna talk your language. So unfortunately, in many of these cases, they will entirely talk in English, and it's not a requirement for them to speak your language, and that's a barrier. That's very intentional. So like Jackie said, we have some homework to do. We have some homework to know your consulate, to know the information of a lawyer, and to be very proactive about getting your case number and the number of the officer that detained. If a friend or a family is detained, there is a way to locate them, and this is part of your emergency plan. From now on, I think it's important that you get information of your family members and your friends, especially this general information of date of birth, full name, the A number. The A number is key to finding that person in the system of immigration, and then the country of birth. Everyone who goes through the immigration system will get assigned a A number. So you guys have to know the number of people surrounding you, because with that information, you can go to this website, which is right there, is is.gov, detention facilities, and then you can look up where your family, friend is located and what facility. Then you can find ways to communicate with them. However, ICE facilities have different regulations in terms of visitation and sending money. So you have to be aware which facility they're being detained and what are the regulations. So we have to be prepared. It is key that you keep all these documents, that you start creating the documents with the proper information. Like I said, find a lawyer that can help you with your case, have emergency contact information ready, memorize phone numbers, your consulate, a lawyer, your close person if you get detained. Have family safety child care plans. I know this is a lot, but we're preparing on having family preparedness guys to see if we have to do custody designation paperwork, and start preparing in that case that a mixed status family, the parents get deported and the kids stay here. So there's avenues to help out.
And we recommend, do not wait for something to happen to speak to a lawyer. Start trying to contact one now. We recognize, right, a lot of the community organizations and places where we can go seek help with the lawyers. Sometimes there's no appointments available, and it's really hard to find secure and also free, right, legal consultation. But I just want to shout out Rosie from the New York Immigration Coalition legal team, who gave us an updated list as of January 2025 with where are the places that we can go to receive free, secure legal aid. We have copies of this up here. If you need that, please come grab one before you leave today. And then, Jorge mentioned saving money, right? We know right now our income is limited. Sometimes there is no income. In a city like New York that's very expensive, try your hardest to save a little bit of money for in the case of an emergency. Okay. I know I saw a hand. We're gonna take just one question and then we'll keep moving.
I just want you to tell us more about where we find the A numbers or how we get the A numbers.
Yeah, so you will find the A numbers in your immigration documents. And almost all the time, you will find it in the corner of the paper. It will always have an A letter next to it.
Is only if we get detained, or
You receive that number if you entered through the border. So if your immigration paperwork should have that number up at the top. If yours doesn't, again, consult with a lawyer, because not everyone will necessarily have that A number.
And if you're also going through an immigration process, UCIS, USCIS will actually assign a also A number to you.
So another way to prepare, and this is homework number 3, is to remember what IDs to carry and what IDs not to carry starting today. So the safest IDs to carry are the U.S. driver's license, a U.S. green card that is valid, right, not expired, and a New York ID such as ID NYC. If you have lived in New York City for 3 months, you are eligible for that ID regardless of your immigration status. So if you do not have that ID, that is homework number 3, is to find the location. I know there are no appointments. Sometimes we go, the lines are so long, we have to take off work, we have the kids, I know. But we have to make sure we have that ID. And then some of the IDs we recommend you don't carry are a foreign passport or any ID that shows that you are from another country. And the reality is that it hurts me to say that, because we all are very proud of where we're from. But the reality of the situation that we're in now is that a foreign passport is going to reveal that you're an immigrant if you show that to an official. And that is private, personal information that you do not need to reveal. And that's why we recommend to carry the IDs on top. Jorge is showing pictures of what those IDs look like. Homework number 3. And so New York City ID on the right and license on the left. Do not carry